And when I was doing that, she closed the airway of the where I was breathing from the mouthpiece. She closed. What is going on, my YouTube familia? I just got here to my appointment to do the PFT, which is the pulmonary function test. And the reason for me having this test is because I've been suffering from GERD for about 6 years. Actually, this summer I earned my 6-year badge for GERD. So I came to the pulmonologist because I had about a month or so episodes of just me choking on my acid and waking up in the middle of the night just choking on my acid, and I got very concerned for my lungs. So I came to see a pulmonologist. He did some x-rays on me and he said that everything was good, everything looked good, but he told me if I wanted to do a PFT to make sure everything looked good in that end, then you can do further testings. And I was like, it's been 6 years since I've been suffering from this. Of course, I want one of my most important organs in my body to be functioning very well. And I think the purpose of the test is just to measure your lungs, right? So measure the function of your lungs. So I was like, well, why not do it? It's been 6 years since I've been going through this. I want everything to look good on through my lungs and make sure everything is working just fine, especially because I'm 29 years old. And I know over time, your lungs become less healthy, and they don't function the same as you get older. So of course I want to be on top of that, and that's the reason I'm going through with it. I'll let you know once I get out my whole experience and everything that went on. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget that you can become a member of this channel. You can also give thanks. It's not obligatory, you don't have to do it, but obviously I highly appreciate all the love that I get, from things and also from the membership subscriptions, and but if anything, hey, just like the video, share it, and just don't forget to subscribe. So I'll see you guys soon. All right, guys. So I just got back home from the PTF study. It went really well. It went really smooth. The respiratory therapist, I believe, she took care of me very well. She went through the whole process with me. She was great, to be honest. And what's funny? She actually told me that she's also a GERD sufferer. So we started just talking a lot about GERD and what's going on. She told me she's also a side sleeper, just like I am. Even though I try to sleep propped it up in like a wedge pillow sometimes, or just 6 to 12 inches of height every time you go to sleep. I just can't do that anymore for some reason. After all the surgeries and everything that's been tampered with my chest, I just can't go to sleep face up. I have to sleep sideways, and I'm assuming I sleep better sideways just because there's pressure that creates from your LES that prevents you from regurgitating a lot of food right when you're sleeping sideways. So either food or just acid reflux in general. But let's talk about the procedure. Let's talk about the test. So when I got in there, she showed me this little, what I would call a booth, because it looks like a booth. And one thing I do gotta point out to people who are claustrophobic, just be aware of that you're gonna be in a booth, and at first it's open, but by the end of the procedure, I think the last run they close it. So something to be aware of, something that I didn't know. I've seen some videos on YouTube, and it wasn't the same type of like booth, I guess, that they were doing it in. So I got there, she explained to me the whole situation. She told me that I had to put in this mouthpiece, and it was connected to this machine, and then I also got some like nose clips or something like that, just to cover your nose, so you won't breathe through your nose, right? You'll only be breathing through your mouth. One of the first I was gonna call it exercise, but one of the first things we did was she told me to just breathe normally and then take deep breaths and then blow them out through the machine, right? Obviously, I was following her orders and what she was telling me, and when to take a deep breath and when to take it out. So, or when to breathe out, I should say. So that was one of the first things we did. The second time around, she told me to start breathing in regularly, right, just normal. And then she told me to take a deep breath with like a lot of force, just a. And when she told me to release it, she also told me to release it with a lot of force as well. So that's what I did as well. Just, released it really fast and as hard as I could. And not just that, but she also told me to keep pushing it until there was no more breath in my lungs. So, I had to just, like, to the point where, I started having some type of tightness and just discomfort on my chest. And that second time, I actually started feeling a little dizzy. And I was like, yo, it's almost like a little fainting feeling, but it's natural for that to happen, apparently. So once I got done, I guess it was like, we took a little break. It was like halftime because the machine had to update, all that information so we can do the last part of the test. And she offered me some water, which I thought was great, because I'm a GERD sufferer. So naturally I'm having, the acid reflux and the GERD just coming up a lot, especially when I was forcing and doing, using my diaphragmatic muscle. I can tell that my GERD was getting, worse where I was doing it. So drinking that water actually was really helpful to just, finish the test. And during that time, we talked a lot about our gastro issues, and I told her about something that one of my YouTube subscribers have recommended me to try, which is Reflux Gourmet, and I'm gonna make a video about that, but that's gonna be for the future. But I'm gonna try that in the next couple of days and then make a video on that. But anyways, getting back to the test, this time I was getting into the booth, and she ended up closing it. And while I was in there, she told me that she wanted me to start panting, right? So to be honest, that was a little bit weird. And the first time that we did it, she told me that I actually did it too fast, because I was just right. But that was a little bit too fast, and she told me to just take it slower. So I was like, all right, cool. So we did it for the a second time, and then I started panting, just pretty decent, just right. And when I was doing that, she closed the airway of where I was breathing from the mouthpiece. She closed it, but she still wanted me to keep going panting. So I wasn't breathing any air in and letting any air out. So it was just me doing this. It was like, I kind of look like a fish, kind of. So that was pretty interesting. And eventually she opened it real quick, and then my air will come out, and then she told me to breathe again. So I did that for about 2 to 3 times. So all these times and these separate sessions that we did, it was about 2 to 3 times that we did them. And to be honest, I think I did pretty well. Like, I like to consider myself a really good patient when it comes to doing a lot of exams and examinations. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't put up with, if something's bothering me or I feel anxious about it, I'll talk to them about it so I can feel comfortable and let them know what's going on. But also sometimes, I try to do the best I can so, we can get the best results, and also, we can just get it over as quick as possible. Another thing that I do have to add to the test, after the first time, she said that she was gonna notice if she on the machine if I should take or I should use an inhaler so my lungs could open up a little bit more, because she said that a lot of GERD sufferers typically we think that it's GERD and acid reflux that that's affecting our lungs, or our breathing sometimes, but it could be something else that's causing those airways to close. But fortunately for me, after the first session, she saw that everything was good, and she was like, all right, I'm not gonna give you the what's that called, the inhaler, because you don't need it. So good news, my lungs are doing pretty well in that aspect. And after that third session that I was talking about with the booth closed, that was basically the whole test. It was pretty quickly. Again, she was great. She told me all the instructions pretty. It was just pretty. I was able to understand everything, and it went pretty smooth. I do gotta say, my chest felt a little bit tight afterwards. It was just I guess from the constant breathing and stuff. The third time though, remember how I told you the second session I got a little bit dizzy and stuff. Though the third time she warned me about that, and she was like, in this one you might get a little bit dizzy, or felt like kind of like, I wouldn't say even dizzy, to be honest. It's more like lightheaded, right? So I'm gonna correct myself. It's more like feeling like lightheaded, and that's what I felt. You just feel a little bit lightheaded, because of the test that you're doing. So I do wanted to add that. But besides that, she told me that everything on her end looked pretty well. Obviously, she can't give me the results because she's not the doctor, but she told me that obviously from her experience that she sees that she saw positive results from my testing, and that makes me happy, because it's one thing less that I have to worry about, especially after suffering from GERD for 6 years. I want one of the most important organs in my body to be healthy, and over time your lungs get worse as you age. So I want to stay on top of that and make sure everything's good. Again, the pulmonologist told me at one point and last time that once acid reflux starts getting into your lungs, the acid, I should say, and it starts messing things up in there, like those issues are irreversible. You can't overturn that. So taking care of your lungs and taking care of everything that's going on, I find it very important, especially after suffering for a long time, for over half a decade. So I'm glad I was on top of that. I'm gonna talk to him eventually, and hopefully we can stay like that for a very long time, if not for the rest of my life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You should go watch more YouTube videos regarding the test if you want to see more examples of what exactly happens in there, the machines they use and stuff, and how the whole process is. Obviously I can't record inside, so that's the reason I'm taking my camera, or else I would love to do that, to have that permission. But hopefully my experience helped you guys in any way, maybe even kill some anxiety that you thought before having this test. But it was an interesting experience. I had a pretty good time. I went right through it pretty smooth. So thank you guys for liking all my videos, for subscribing, and if you're new, welcome to the family. We're a big community here, and we hope to keep growing and affecting and changing more lives while we can. So my hand is actually shaking a little bit because of the way I'm holding it. So I'm holding just like this. But yeah, hey, guys, remember, you can always become a member of the channel. You can always give thanks to the channel, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos, man. As always, I love you guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love, baby.